So I hope that now the connection it's good. Let's see if you it looks like all right to me. So I just wait few seconds, few minutes to make sure that everybody will start connected so that I can start talking today about our topic today. So everything is right now. Can you tell me if you can see me correctly? It looks okay to me. So we have already 3 people. That's very good. Well, we hope there's going to be a little bit more than 3. So write a message, please, and just say everything is fine so that I know. Yes, sir, looks good. Great. Yes, everything is fine. Hi, guys. How are you? So now the number of people it's increasing. This is very good news. Hi, how you doing? Don't worry, I just started. I didn't even start talking yet, okay? Sadar, don't worry. You are fine. You are fine. I don't start yet. I have a lot of stuff to show you today because this is the good thing today that I got some material to use to get my message across better, and you will see some nice stuff. So stick with me until the end because at the right time I will show you some nice hot sketches. Okay, not just my own stuff, but also from some friends of mine which are much, much better than me, professional designers that gave me as a present some of their sketches so long ago. And those are beautiful to show because on those we can understand a lot of things, okay, a lot of things. So, first of all, today, what are we talking about? What is the topic of today? I'm sorry for the connection. I read some messages. I know it's not my fault. Here it looks pretty good. So if I will speak a little slowly, okay? So if the connection is not perfect, it's okay. I will try to help you in this way. All right, there is no way to run. There is no reason to run. So today we will talk about sketching, the most important thing for anybody that wants to work into design, in design field, in card, especially in card design or in product design. Sketching abilities, skills, talent are extremely important so that you can become a real designer. It's most of all exercise your creativity. So sketching is very important also because if one day, and of course everybody wants to do that, you want to try digital, which means Photoshop, Paint, Keyshot, whatever, all the softwares you want to use to make super fantastic illustrations that they look almost like pure art or some beautiful photorealism or nice photographs, okay, like science fiction stuff. Okay, if you want to learn and do that, you have to start from good sketching basis. So this is the reason why often I speak and I give back some feedbacks to some of you that send me the portfolio, and sometimes, often, I write down, look, your stuff is not so bad, but you have to improve your skills. And what do I mean by that? When I say you have to improve your skills, I mean that you have to be more concentrated in improving your capacity in drawing. So this means that you have to study really, really better the basics of drawings to make sure that from the fundamentals you learn this technique of representation and you will be able to understand how to continue sketching, improving, and then take your creativity and put it on a white paper because you know basically the technique to do that. A lot of people think that because they do some almost, I would say, good looking sketches and with some strange perspective, and maybe they have friends that say, oh, nice sketch, I like it, or maybe their parents, oh, this is really cool. They think those people think that they already know how to sketch. Therefore, what do? They go straight to digital. They get the Photoshop download online, or they buy, spending a lot of money, the software program, and then they start sketching on Photoshop directly, thinking that they can just do a digital portfolio and work only digital. This is a big mistake. So I want you to understand that this is a big mistake, because Photoshop is just a tool. Or any software that makes you work with a digital pen and a tablet, it's just a tool. But before you master such a tool, which is a little bit more complicated than sketching on paper, you must know how to really work on paper. And of course, I will do more tutorials, I promise. Don't worry, I will do it, because it's also fun. It's a way to sketch and entertain you. So the most important thing in this case, as I said, is you have to learn starting from the basics, because everything has to be a crescendo. This means that you have to go step by step. The easy things at the beginning and really learn them really, really well. Then you move on some stuff that are a little bit more complicated, which can be the perspectives, theory of reflections, how you put the cast shadow, how we put the light source, how all this interacts with the perspective, all that stuff. And after you learn how to do that, you have to go into what I call the color step. The color step is very important, because when we use colors, it's not the same thing of just making a black and white sketch or illustration. Using color, we add a lot of extra stuff, and to do that well, we must know really well the theory of colors. So basically, the theory of all colors in school is taught very simple way. We have all the gray scale, warm and cool, and all the color palette, or the primary colors. Now, every color has a value, and it has also a tone. And usually we give a value number 0, number 10, okay? Using the Pantone scale, color scale, or color chart. And this is a reference to understand if you have a red that is a value 5 or value 7, or if you have another color and what value this color has. The value is very important, because the highest is the value, the darker is the color. The smaller number is the value, the lighter that color is. For example, when we take the grayscale color, called grayscale, we start from value 1, as you know, because you all have markers, okay, Pantone, or Copic markers, or chart pack, and you go from number 1 to number 10. And number 10, and then you have a black or super black, which is something that is really, really, really very dark, which is very good to do some nice stuff in illustrations. But when we take a color like a yellow or like a blue, we can go from a very light blue to a very dark blue. And it's exactly like a black color from value number 1, number 10. Now, why I'm talking about that? Because when you make an illustration in which there are a lot of colors, can you please upload this live video? Of course, don't worry, all those videos will be saved and will remain on the channel, so that you can reload, rewind, and check again, because I understand that when we talk, it's not so easy to maintain in your head everything we say, all right? So don't worry, it will be there, just like the others. All the live chat that we will do together will be on the channel recorded, and they will be there on my channel, so that you can go back and check it as many times as you want. So let's go back to our discussion. We were talking about colors, okay? So when we make an illustration, it's like a picture. And when you see a color picture, all right, you see that there are a lot of colors. There is light, there is shadow, there is dark, there is light, there is a warm color, light color, and all that stuff, it's the photo. But what happens when we make the sketch or the color sketch of that photo? Thank you, of that sketch or that photo. It's that we have to take markers, colors, okay? Different type of colors, and we have to see the value of those colors. The type of color, the value, where is the light source, where is the shadow, because if we are able to play with all that stuff, then we have the depth in our illustration. We see what is in front of us compared to what is in the back. We will understand what is the first reading of your illustration compared to what is considered to be the second reading, which is supportive of your subject. So, now, when you learn all this using your hands, your pencils, and your markers, which means working a lot, because it's not that you do this 1 week and it's done. You have to do this for several years. That's why car design school is 4 years, 5 years, because you exercise this constantly, every single day, on several projects. So when you learn how to do this, then only after you can say, now that I know a little bit the know-how of mastering color, of sketching freehand because I have a flow in my hand. I know that I don't have to move my wrist, but I have to move my arm to have a really nice line. I know how to make a nice perspective. I know how I can make a quick sketch and put a little bit of color to get a very good idea in a very correct way. Once you know all this, and you master that, which, as I said, comes after a lot of exercise, okay, then you can go digital. You take a Photoshop, you start it on, you light it up, and you start exploring. Because the magic starts there. And when you will be in front of the digital pen, the first second can be a little bit strange because the touch, the feel is not the same feeling of the paper or your pencil in your hand. But then you realize that all your know-how, all the things you know, sketching, they come out and you behave the same way. And then, because those softwares program, they have lots of options, aerograph, spray paint, whatever, you can mask, and you can do a lot of things that usually when you do by hand, you do by touching your fingers, your hands, because of everything is kind of dirty and you have a lot of problems in keeping them clean. Over there, by magic, it's always clean. So you have a lot of interesting tools. You have the zoom. You can zoom in, can zoom out. You can work on a single pixel. All things that, of course, by hand you cannot do. But you can do all that really, really well when you master the real simple sketching. And today I had on LinkedIn, I wrote an article about this some week ago, I guess. And I published on LinkedIn. And a lot of teachers from CCS in Detroit, Art Center, and other schools made very nice comments, which made me very happy. Because they all said the same thing, said, thanks God you're also saying that, because we have hard time with our students to make them understand the importance of learning and making a little bit of sweat sketching, because that's really the beginning to make sure that you can manage really well any digital art afterward. Now, there's another thing I want to say to you. When we sketch freehand, usually, I mean, according to my experience and my souvenir, okay, my memories, we really like it. I mean, when I have a pencil and I have to do a shading and I have to master that shading to make sure that the surface it looks really like a cylinder, I like it. It's not that I'm thinking, shit, how long is it going to take me to finish this? No, I don't care. I don't look at my watch. And I believe should be the same thing for you too. It's like painting. Sometimes I do some paints, If you look up on the left there, you can see one of my paintings here, okay? And it's the same thing. I just love it. So, if you feel like that, you can only improve. You have to enjoy doing that. You don't have to think that, damn it, when I'm gonna start on digital? Who cares? It's not so important. Then there is also another thing I want to tell you, because probably people don't tell you. Thank you very much for the compliment, for the painting. Okay, I have others on the other side, in the other room. So another thing that people don't tell you probably is that in your portfolios, as we said last time, we that are the professionals on the other side receiving your portfolio, we are looking at your sketches, not your digital. Because I know that how it's gonna look a digital rendering. I know. They look similar. But sketching, and who has a real talent, it's not looking similar to another guy or to another girl. It's something different. And in that particular difference, we try to spot the real talent. So that's why I always say to everybody, work on your basics, work on your drawings, work on your sketching, do sketchbooks. And now, because we are talking about sketchbooks, and as I promised at the beginning of this live chat with you of today, in which I remember we are talking about the importance of sketching, I am going to show you a little surprise. Some of my old sketches, okay? Hoping that you're gonna like it. The most important thing, I'm gonna show you stuff, but not because of the design, because that's old stuff. So the design, it's old, and maybe it's also boring, all right? Ideation, illustration, from which said, the most important thing is ideation first. Ideas. Designers equals ideas. I don't want money, I want to work only for people. No, you want also money, believe me. Because when you work, you have to be rewarded. This dream, I don't care, I get the job, even for free, believe me, it doesn't work. Because after a week, you're gonna be pissed off. No. Don't go too much with your heart, use your brain too. Because design business is a business. It's not only about art and talent. So don't be naive, all right? I'll tell you this because I want you to be responsible, okay? I don't want to just be a dreamer. We like dreamers, but dreamers with the feet on the ground, okay? Or as we say in Italy, with the head on the neck, on the shoulders. All right. So what I was saying about the sketches. I will show you some of my own stuff, but it's not important, the design. The design is probably even ugly. What is important is analyze how I used to do things when I start working, all right? And then I will show you two sketches from two of my friends, designers, professionals, of the same period, which are magnific, done with markers. And on those, especially on those, there is a lot to learn. So, I start showing you the first sketch, which was just a knob for an interior console of an electrical car. Some time ago, almost I would say 20 years ago. So this is a sketch done with pencil. You can see I put some notes because I used this sketch during a technical meeting. We were talking about this knob. There were people, sorry for late coming. Don't worry. I'm gonna repeating the concepts of what I'm talking about, so it's gonna be fine. So basically, what I was doing during this technical meeting, a lot of people talking. I am a designer, so how can I express myself with technical people so that they understand? With a nice drawing, with a good perspective, good proportion, and sections. You see? You see sketch, the sections there. So this is first example, all right? This is something that I used to use during a technical meeting. So it was a kind of important, how can I say? An important type of meeting. Now I'll show you some sketches, very quick doodle I used to do for myself. Look at this. One page, trying perspective, side views, proportions, all right? And trying to make a composition with a very light background, all right? Once again, this is just graphite pencil, all right? It's not colors or pencils or stuff like that, all right? So what is important here is that I was exercising sketching. At the same time, I was trying to look for some ideas, all right? So now I show you another one. This one is done with pen, blue pen, okay, ballpoint pen. And this was done just for fun. Show some mediation sketches. Yeah, I will show you some mediation sketches. Don't worry. All right. But this is important because those sketches have all the ingredients to be criticized. Now we look at it. We can say, for example, that the proportion is correct, that the line work is fine, that the overall composition is very good, and therefore if you give this to a professional, what can he think? Well, this guy is not so bad. Then there is the design aspect. We can say I like it, I don't like it, but that's subjective. That's another thing. Now I'll show you another one done with the black pencil. This one, all right? And this one I used to do for a tutorial, I think. All right? Now you can see how I work the line quality of the lines. Look, all the lines are different. There are some lines that are much darker and some others that are less light. Here it's light and this is getting darker because those are the area where the surface is changing. All right? Could you also share what a portfolio? We will talk about portfolio another time, I promise. This is a promise, okay? Don't worry because I will make 2 live chats per week for a while. So I have some time and I would like to spend it with you, so don't worry. Just check always on the Facebook page and Instagram because I will put always graphics that will announce the day, the date, and the timing, like as I did today. Okay, so you understand, no? Cast shadow, proportion, a sort of a very light background, very simple. What do I see? I see the car, so I can judge the car. All right. Now I show you a picture of a production car that I did when I was in Fiat long ago. Okay. Which was done by hand with colors. Probably you saw this published somewhere because I know I found once on internet. I put a little bit like that so that you don't have the light reflection. Now, can you see this? This is an illustration, all right, of this project I made, and then it went. Tell us about the Security Institute in Shanghai, China. I'm sorry, I cannot talk about this now. I will say a few words, but not now. And you can see here. Wait, that I take. Now look at this. This is value. Remember when we talked about the value? I said the grayscale value 10 to number 1. You know, and then we said colors the same thing. Here we can see it. Look, this is dark blue, and this is very light. This is a value 4. This is almost a value 10. So do you understand what I was talking about now? The gray back here, it goes from black, which is number 10, and goes lighter because it's a shading, because there is a light reflection and makes us understand a little bit better of the shape of the objects. And here it's almost an 8, value 8. And this is a cold gray. This is also cold blue, all right? And then you can see that on the shadow, here for example, there is a shading. This is because it gives dynamic effect to the illustration. This is very important. And now I'll show you another quick illustration I made on another project that also was in production long ago. And this was a drawing that I made to talk to a supplier that was supposed to do all those elements in fiberglass, small elements in fiberglass on this car. So I designed those stuff and I made my illustration to show. Now this is very simple, but you can see this is a very quick sketch. It didn't take too long. But when somebody that has to make a model and sees a sketch like that, he understands everything. Of course, today we would have made this with Photoshop, but at that time there was no Photoshop. But this is the reason why I'm showing you this. To show you that before you go to Photoshop, you should get to a certain level. Because if you do, you will master the Photoshop really, really well. This is another one. Was a Mongo MPV car. No, those paper, this is a picture. That's why it's laminated. It's a picture. It's a photo. Because at that time we did not have Photoshop when we had beautiful sketches or important sketches, we had a photograph that used to take photos. Today we don't do that anymore because today we scan. At that time we did not scan. All right? And maybe somebody saw this. This is a real illustration done with chalk on canson paper. Canson paper, for those that don't know, it's color paper, okay? And this color paper, this is the real color. And then I draw using a part of the color of the paper. You see? Look, this is the color of the paper. So the color of the car is the color of the paper. So what do I have to do extra? I just add the light and the shadow. The light, the shadow. You see? The light and the shadow and reflections. And this reflection here, you can see transparency. All right? Because when you learn how to do illustrations with the theory of reflections and the depth that there is between different materials like glass, which is transparent, then you learn also how to make a surface look transparent. Because you had to play, of course, with the value and the tones of the colors. That's the secret is there. Looks like, yeah, but this is the Fiat 600. This is my baby, my first car that went into production. Yeah, but no, the Alto. This came in 1996. 96. Okay. And now I'll show you another illustration that I made long ago. This is almost 25 years ago. You can see this is a different media. This is with chalk, marker, chalk, and a little bit of color pencil on this yellowish color here. And you can see again the transparency. You see? This is grading, shading done with chalk. In the back there is a very light gray marker. And after I put the gray marker, I put the chalk on top. Now, if you want to learn how to use chalk in pastel, would you like to learn? Tell me, right? Yes or not? Because I have something for you, just in case you want to learn. Do you? Write it down. Because, yes, great. On this channel, go down the videos, okay? You will find a video that I made a year ago where I used chalk and this technique, and you will see it's not complicated. You have to exercise a lot to make it right, but you can see this video and I am sure you will love it. This was my preferred technique that I learned in school. This is only marker. Okay, only marker. Explain about line weight and quality. Yes, I will. Okay, this is only marker. And you can see reflection. You see, it's the same principle. Light yellow, darker here, shading down in lighter. Why? Because that's the way reflection is done on a chrome cylinder, for example. We talk about today's design students emphasize on too much presentation. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That I don't agree with all that Photoshop. Now, this is something that you might like. Now, what paper is this? Anybody knows? I know that you won't. Probably you won't. You won't guess. What paper is this? Look. I will count until 3. If you don't say, I will say. 1, 2, and 3. No, it's not marker paper, sugar paper, sandpaper, no. Canson, no. Craft, no, can't get it, no. Craft paper, no. No, Valeria, no. Butcher paper. This is the paper we used to, at that time, to wrap the bread. È il famoso il foglio che si usava all'epoca per gli alimenti, ok? For food paper. It's very nice because when you use a marker, look how nice it is. Very, very nice. And this is color pencil, like this one. Color pencil. Then a little bit of gouache, white gouache. You see? Look how nice is the effect of the gold, because this paper is really, really nice for this. You can put those type of colors, and it works really beautifully. You should try butcher paper. In Italian, I don't know how to say, carta da alimenti, quello che si usa per il pane. If anybody is Italian is listening to me, maybe he knows how to ask. Now, vellum paper, which is typical from Art Center. Okay, I know also CCS. This one. Okay, look, very light in the front, very good focal point in the back. And the focal point, it's here. You see that all the highlights is done there. This is exactly what you guys want to do. You have an illustration to do. You have to decide where you put your focal point of your line, on top of your line work. You have to decide what is a focal point. It's where the person puts his eyes right away that he sees the illustration. And that means that you are driving his attention over there before he starts seeing everything else. Now, this is important. Why? Because with the focal point, everybody's looking here first. Is it true? You're watching here. And only after you're looking in the back, in the front, you know, I'm driving your attention here. What if I put all those white highlights all over? Mistake that a lot of you do. It would have been a messy, messy work. Very, very messy. And that's the first thing I tell everybody. Don't overload your sketches or your illustrations with all those, I call them bird shit, honestly. It looks like there were lots of birds flying on your top of your drawings and they start, you know, bombing with their excrements. Okay, so focal point is important. Here, again, another one, butcher paper again, food paper. So look at this, focal point. This is our focal point. And now you cannot show you my sketches, your sketches, but you can send it to me on Messenger, okay? Those that want to show me your work, Messenger, PDF, light, or JPEGs, but light, okay? Less is more, correct. Who said that is right? So you see, Now, do I have a background? Just a little bit here. Look, this is Giugiaro style background, our maestro, you know, with the pave on the ground. And then we have the light coming from here, so the shadow is here, going that way. Now, this is warm, this is cold light. You remember when I said, if you have cold light, warm is on the other side, the opposite. And this helps to show how it's turning your object. There you go. You see? Cool, warm. Cool and warm. Okay? And we can see that the car is doing this. You see? Okay, I show you another one. Today is Christmas. Another vellum. The design is a little bit ugly, but the reflections are nice. Have done this 20 years ago. No, 19 years ago. Okay. Now, vellum is it's a particular paper that we used when we were in school. Today, it's almost impossible to find it. Also because nobody uses this technique. It's called old viscom technique, something like that. But anyway, if you look at this, you can see where I put, you know, the highlights, how I use the marker, the pencil color, you know, the shadow, the grading, the shading effect, you can see, okay? And the good thing of this paper is that you work also from the back. This is the base. And then in the front, you do all details. Very particular paper. This is really excellent. But today it's almost impossible. And now, to finish this, two very beautiful sketches, illustrations, which are much better than what you saw until now. Done by two excellent designers that today are both VP design in transportation and industrial design. The first one is this one. Benoit Jacob, ex-Renault, ex-BMW, and today is in China, VP of a new brand, Chinese brand for electric car. And he made this sketch when he came to IED, when I was teaching there, and I asked him to be my guest. So he came and he made this sketch demo in the class with markers, only markers. Now, let's see closer. Can you see? To make a red car, look how many colors he put together. Look at the gouache. Look how nice. Look at the line quality, perspective. Everything is beautiful. Is this beautiful? So, this is one, all right? So, Benoit Jacob, all right? Excellent designer. And then I show you another one. This is crazy, eh? It's not a car. Look. This is done by Darren Cades, a friend of mine from USA. He's a VP design director at Plantronics in California. Darren Cades. And he's excellent. I mean, this guy is a designer, artist. Give him anything in his hands, even with food, he would render on a paper with food, using the right colors. So look at details. This is a little bit cartoony technique, but very, very good, very, very well. Look how deep is the illustration. Look at the color that he used. So when you see this stuff, do you agree with me that before you go to digital, you must learn how to get this type of level? This is the question. And you have to give yourself an answer. You should say, yes, you're right. That's what we should do. That's what I should do. So, to complete this beautiful live chat we had today. And I think and I hope it's been very useful to you. I think that it's very important that we start from the basics. All right? If you think you are weak in sketching or in the perspective, on your line quality, please exercise. Now, some of you asked me, can you talk about line quality? You find a video on which I talk about it and I sketch for you to show you line quality with lines, but also on things to show you how a line can be designed and sketched in 3D on paper. So once we finished here, if you want, go and see my videos, tutorial videos, and you will discover a lot of stuff that probably you didn't see yet, okay? Line quality. Anyway, if you find yourself weak on something, exercise, put the accent and more time into that. And then when you get the right confidence, you can see that your work compared to others' work, they are not so bad. Then when you see that your level comes up, because there is always an opportunity to improve, then you say, you know what? Now I'm gonna ask my parents, or I have some money, I'm gonna make a very good present for myself. I'm gonna buy a knockout tablet with a nice program on my computer, and I'm gonna start going digital. Then you do your Photoshop, and then you go do magnificent, awesome work, because it's gonna be natural to do. Now I would like to tell you another thing, and then we can complete. 3 years ago, after 35 years, I decided that I wanted to try again to play guitar, because I always had this passion. I started when I was a kid, at the age of 11 years old. It lasted 1 year, and then I did not play guitar anymore. So I wanted to play electric guitar because I love rock, all that stuff from the 60s, the 70s, rock and roll, that stuff. And I wanted to try. And sometimes during those years, I tried, but I was blocked with my finger. I didn't have lots of knowledge, so I was blocked and I abandoned. 3 years ago, I told myself it's not possible that I do not spend some times, other than sketching and doing my video for my friends. It's not possible that I don't think something that is my second passion. So I bought a guitar, an electrical guitar, for 80 euros, okay? I think made in China, which of course is not a great guitar. But for 1 full year, I was playing on that guitar. 1 year. And because I progressed and I started playing with other people that taught me a lot, and I learned a lot, and I play almost every day, at least 1 hour every day, I can show you now my guitars that of course do not cost 80 euros, but this is exactly the same principle that I was saying before. Today I can play on a guitar that is much more expensive and more complicated to play and more delicate, because it's 3 years I'm playing every single day. 3 years is like a car design full bachelor course every day. And I can see that I have the scales, the pentatonic scale, I know more chords, I know some riffs, I go YouTube and there are some interesting, very good musicians that are teaching, and I look at them with my guitar and I play with them. So you see, that's how it works. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Even someone like me at the age of 55 can improve on an electrical guitar, which is not easy. All right? So I hope that this live chat has been a good one. Please, once that this video, it's gonna be online between my videos on my channel, share it on Facebook, share it everywhere you want. we have to grow as community, because I want to do those live chats and I have a lot of things to tell you to help you. So let's spread the word. And of course, thank you very much to all of you that were here today. We were more than 30, which is exactly 3 times compared to the first one. So excellent. There is always improvement to make. Thank you. Ciao. Bye. Write comments. I will answer to your comments. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.